Welcome back to the Wolfpack, everyone. And oh, wait a second. Hold on 1 minute, Tim. What is this that you're holding out of nowhere? Is this the expansion for Andromeda's Edge? Genesis? So good to see you all. Today is a very, very exciting day. Hope you all didn't see this coming because this just dropped out of nowhere. And today we are talking all about Andromeda's Edge Genesis. First off, if you like videos like this, don't forget to hit subscribe to grow the Wolfpack even further this year. Secondly, this is a prototype in my hands, so make sure that you know all components today are still a work in progress. And thirdly, I am doing this video 100% for fun. I offered to do a component overview for cardboard offering because how can I not? And either way, you all know I am excited to talk about my favorite game ever. But we will be doing a full-on gameplay and some more exciting things, so make sure you stick around. And with that, let's dive all into all the new things in Genesis. Can we just take a look at that cover art, yo? Woo! All right, continue yourself. One of the biggest upgrades to Genesis are these Exotech cards. Everything that we have been asking for is right here. Exotech cards will count towards your hand limit. They can be spent and discarded just like Tactics cards, and they can still be played as a free action. There are also some permanent Exotech cards that stay in play for the entire game. So what exactly do they do? On my last review, I complained all about how Raider rewards were really strong, but they weren't that satisfying. Like beating them and all, investing all this stuff was cool, but it didn't feel like the payoff was there. I really wished that the Raider rewards were better. Well, that prayer literally has been answered because these Exotech cards are very rewarding. For instance, you have the Damcon droids. They give you a repair every single turn in exchange for 1 resource. Starless Navigation now gives all of your ships voyage. Space Warper lets you spend a resource to now give one of your ships infinite range once every single turn. Is that it, Tim? No. Come on, these Exotech cards now give us a taste of what Raider powers feel like for ourselves. There's a card called Vampiric Drain after the Chupa Vambra, which makes your opponent discard energy or lose a victory point. After that, you gain 3 energy. Tentacles Grasp, named after the Galactic Kraken, brings all ships in adjacent regions into 1 region. And my personal favorite, the Ion Assault, named after the Ion Storm. This one's crazy. Play after launching to a ship, damage all other ships in the active region. Straight up explosion right where you launch. Okay, I'm excited here. I'm gonna try to tone it down. We now have the ability to commandeer our raiders. What does that mean? That means we can now take control of them, similar to how domination worked in Dwellings of Eldervale, and use them as our own unit. Here are 2 new Exotech cards allowing you to commandeer a raider. Now, when you take control of a raider, that means they're gonna go straight to your launch bay and act as your own unit. But they do not strike anymore, and they keep all their attributes, range, targeting, weapons, shields, all that yours. They also have voyage now, which means that your raiders can launch to the nebula. Now, unlike in Dwellings, your raiders don't die as easily, which as a player that manages to control them makes it feel way better. The only way to destroy a player's raider is to defeat them in a battle. If they take damage and their shields are broken, you still will maintain control of the raider, and they'll go to the scrapyard where they can be repaired. If other players manage to defeat your raider though, they're still gonna gain the raider's reward listed on the card or an Exotech card. After that, the raider is gonna return to Andromeda like it normally would. Let's take a look at some of the raider abilities when they've been commandeered. The Ancient Brain, one of my favorite raider minis, no longer has the ability Omniscience, which would normally allow them to raider strike at aligned spaces. However, under your control, it now has infinite range. Now, if you remember the Mortality Sphere, it has an ability called Barrage. This one damages 1 module from each player who fought in combat. Guess what happens when you take control of the Mortality Sphere? You now gain the Barrage ability, and it does not affect your units, only with the players that have fought in that battle. Do you see how absolutely crazy and wild this game just got? Now let's talk about 1 more base raider, and then I want to introduce to you the 2 new raiders. The Hive, under your control, will keep all of its hornets, and it just flies around Andromeda with a max weapons value of 6. It is a tank. If it does get defeated though in combat, then that player is gonna still take a hornet as a reward. Now, one of the brand new raiders is the Cosmic Frog. This is a planet-devouring frog that begins in a random nebula. It's a B-class raider. It cannot attack adjacent regions, and instead, it has an ability called Hop, which means it will only attack regions 2 spaces away. It also has a weapons of 4, a targeting of 3, which is the highest in the game now, pretty much meaning it's only gonna roll 4s and up, And this raider's main ability is called Cosmic Chaos. So when the frog comes into play, you reveal the next module from each deck, and then this frog is gonna eat every single one of those modules. Every time you defeat it, it spits out a module from its belly onto your space station. Now that means that you have to punch this galactic-sized frog 4 times to defeat it. When you commandeer the frog, you get to use its hop ability, but as usual, defeating in battle means that that player is going to gain a module that is spit out from his belly, and then the frog is going to return as a normal raider right afterwards. The cube is an absolute powerhouse. I commandeered this cube, and I just went around destroying everyone. Yes, I lost that entire game, but let me tell you now, it was the most satisfying thing to go around and win every single battle, just absolutely obliterating everyone in every single fight. This game's wild, yo. Oh man. Okay, the cube has a range of 1, it has a shield of 1, and it starts on the newly developed planet. It also has an ability called Predictable, which means that the cube doesn't roll a single die. Instead, it's gonna have a weapons value of 6, but it's gonna set those dice to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The reward for defeating the cube, if you somehow manage to do so, is drawing 2 Exotech cards but keeping 1. If you commandeer it, you can control its predictability effect against other players, which means that you're gonna roll 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in every fight with the cube, and you cannot use abilities that let you re-roll dice. Moving on to developments. Okay, so for my experienced players here, we now have 3 brand new development cards per development. 15 new development cards. Now in Genesis, when you build a development, you can still pick the original development card as a reward or one of the new cards, but these are limited, so once someone picks one of these, that's it for the entire game. These cards add all new possibilities to the game, and they are really strong. I mean, that's the whole theme of Genesis, right? Where a lot of our tech is getting advanced, which means a lot of things are getting way stronger than before. Now, with this new age, a time of lasting change informed by the words of prophets have now influenced a brand new event deck called the Persistence of Memory. Unlike previous events, these events now last until the next card is revealed. Some examples include Pacifism, which lets players gain both Tac Ops rewards instead of choosing just one, or Mana Pulse, which makes modules cheaper by 1 resource, or Immortality, which protects everyone's ships by immediately putting them in the repair barge once they get sent to the scrapyard. Realistically, when I teach this game to new players, I actually tell them to avoid the shipyard because what you can do is go up the industry track and you will be able to gain a ship upgrade and a free ship if you don't already have it in 1 turn. However, we now have a brand new alliance base called the Innovation Hub. This one replaces the shipyard, and when you launch a ship here, you could draw 1 Exotech card directly, or you could spend any resource to get a double repair, or you could spend a credit and any resource in order for you to get a ship upgrade. The Innovation Hub now gives you way more value-driven incentives versus the shipyard from before. Okay, now you ever notice those weird empty spots on the board? There actually have been ancient shrines located here, and restoring them causes a powerful shockwave. Shrines are half tiles, and Genesis includes 1 additional leader per player for you to start the game with. And there's also a Cosmic Debris setup variant where they can also start in the middle of the board. And when you launch to a shrine, you're gonna spend the listed resources, and then boom, each player within range 1, including the player that launched there, damages 1 of their ships. Then a shockwave occurs, and all components like ships and leaders from the shrine moves 1 region away. In exchange, you get to move your marker 1 space up that progress track, and you can take 1 leader from your station and place it where your progress track marker ended. That means that you're gonna gain these points at the very end of the game. Restoring a shrine flips it over to the other side and will give every development adjacent to the shrine bonus points. Now, do we feel that corrupted energy? That same corrupted energy that runs through raiders has now corrupted stars. Corrupted star tiles are gonna start here, but with damage markers. And just like with vortexes and quasars, raiders that typically start on a random nebula will instead start on these corrupted stars. When you launch to a corrupted star, you can spend 1 energy to go up any track you want, and then you remove 1 damage from the star. If you don't repair all the damage here by the end, all adjacent regions with developments are gonna lose points. But if you do repair all the damage, that tile gets flipped just like shrines, and then everyone within range 1 now damages their ship and a shockwave occurs. Once the star has been fully restored, no ships and raiders can enter the star, but adjacent developments will now score bonus points. And yeah, that's pretty much it to Genesis. Psych! We also have 3 brand new factions. Now, the digital image here is the updated faction board. The hard copy I have is not fully accurate. Again, this is a prototype, but first, we have a faction that can foresee events and look into the future. These are the precog hybrids, and they start with something unique, which are 5 tactics cards. they have an ability called No Fate, which means that they can look at the next event card on any player's turn so they know exactly what the event track is scoring. Plus, whenever an event card is resolved before scoring, they can go up 1 space on any progress track. Their second ability is called Exogenesis, which lets them draw an Exotech card if they have 3 or less cards in hand and if they discard 1 tactics card. Their ship is a science vessel called Vision, which has a range of 2, a weapons of 1, a shield, and their 6th sense ability allows them to auto-roll a 6 in battle. The precog hybrids are all about fixing events in your favor. Entering the galaxy now are also the Wood Whisperers. They are druids searching to restore the corruption. They have an ability called Repurposed Corruption, which allows you to put a damage marker that you removed from a ship, a module, or region onto the faction card, which basically acts as a free credit or energy. They also have Restored Wings, which means whenever they move their ship to the repair barge, there's going to be 1 damage marker that's put onto the faction card. So this faction is all about utilizing repairs as resources. The Wood Whisperers also have Unfettered Owl Transports, which lets them look through the stack of moons that you're launching them to, choosing one, and rearranging the moon stack. They have a range of 3, which is really far, and a weapons of 1. Lastly, we have a lost group of expeditioners called the Martian Terraformers. They come with a brand new component called the Habs, because this faction has an ability called Terraform, where they can spend 1 ice or 1 nanocarbon to put a Hab on an undeveloped, unterraformed planet occupied by one of your ships. That lets them move up that specific progress track. Now on top of that wild ability, the cost for your development where that Hab is now reduced by 1 resource. The Martians also have epic discoveries, which means that every time they get a discovery token from the science track, they can gain a 2nd token. Their ship is called a MAV with a weapons value of 2 and a range of 2, and the MAVs also have an ability called Ascent, which means that when these ships get damaged, they can actually go to your launch bay instead of the scrapyard. And that wolf pack is a first look at Genesis. Lots of exciting new components. We got Corrupted Stars, Shrines, 2 brand new raiders with the Frog and the Cube. We also have brand new Exotech cards, which allows you to commandeer raiders. We got 3 new factions. We have new events. There's just so much jam-packed in this. And honestly, I legit cannot even imagine playing without this expansion. Even though this is a prototype, I haven't played the base game of Andromeda without the expansion since. Commandeering the raiders alone is enough to sell me this one. With that said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I will leave links to the GameFound campaign down below. Make sure you are following it because you do not want to miss out on something this epic. I'll do a full-on review when the game comes out, but if you're wondering if there's like too much powerful stuff, I feel like my instincts tell me that some of you may be worried that there's too much powerful stuff going on, but trust me, it's good. It's like controlled chaos if anything, and I've also played it with the base faction integrated with the new expansion stuff. It feels like it's always belonged there. So with that said, if you made it to the very end, go ahead and comment frog for a new little friend joining the game, a full-on planet-sized frog. I don't know how I feel about that mentally, but I mean, this is freaking cool. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all. I'll see you all in Andromeda.